What if the man who seems distant is not losing feelings, but fighting a battle inside himself that he has never shown you? What if the silence, the hesitation, and the moments when he pulls away are not signs that he does not care, but signs that something deeper is happening within him? Because sometimes the person who loves you the most is also the person most afraid of being seen completely. And what he is hiding may not be another person. It may be a hidden part of himself that he has spent years protecting. Have you ever looked at someone and felt a strange contradiction? Their eyes seem to say one thing, but their actions seem to say another. They come close, then suddenly create distance. They show care, then disappear into silence. This confusion can feel painful, but human emotions are rarely as simple as they appear on the surface. A person does not always hide because they do not love. Sometimes they hide because love touches the deepest places inside them, the places where fear, insecurity, and old emotional wounds live. When someone truly begins to care, they are no longer only experiencing happiness, they are also confronting their own fears. Love becomes a mirror. It reveals the parts of themselves they have avoided for years. If you have ever experienced a connection where someone's actions and emotions seemed impossible to understand, take a moment to reflect on this. A person can deeply care for someone and still carry an internal conflict that prevents them from expressing that love openly. Sometimes what appears to be confusion, distance, or hesitation is actually the result of a private emotional battle happening beneath the surface. A person may feel a strong connection, but at the same time they may be struggling with fears they have never fully faced. Love has a unique way of bringing hidden emotions into awareness. When someone begins to feel truly connected to another person, they are not only experiencing happiness and attraction, they are also confronting their own vulnerabilities. The possibility of being deeply known can feel both beautiful and frightening. For someone who has built emotional walls for years, allowing another person inside can feel like losing the protection they have depended on. The hidden conflict behind love may come from past disappointments, fear of rejection, insecurity, or a belief that they are not worthy of genuine affection. Some people have learned to survive by controlling their emotions, avoiding difficult conversations, or pretending they do not need anyone. But when real love appears, those old defenses begin to weaken and the person may not know how to respond. This creates a contradiction. Their heart may move toward connection while their mind tries to protect them from possible pain. They may want to be close but fear what closeness requires. They may want to reveal their feelings but worry about becoming vulnerable. Understanding this hidden conflict does not mean ignoring unhealthy behavior or accepting endless uncertainty. It means recognizing that human emotions are often complex. A person's silence does not always mean a lack of feeling, just as their affection does not always mean they have resolved their inner struggles. The deeper truth is that love does not only reveal how someone feels about another person, it reveals how they feel about themselves. Before someone can fully open their heart, they often have to confront the hidden fears that have been controlling them for a long time. A person's decision to hide their emotions is often connected to the way they have learned to protect themselves throughout life. Emotional concealment is not always a sign of dishonesty or a lack of feelings. Sometimes it is a psychological defense created by past experiences, fears, and beliefs about vulnerability. When someone feels deeply for another person, they may become more aware of the possibility of losing something valuable, and that awareness can create a powerful internal struggle. Many people are comfortable showing confidence, independence, and control, but they become uncomfortable when asked to reveal their deeper emotions. Love requires a person to step beyond their protective identity and allow another person to see their true thoughts, fears, and insecurities. For someone who has spent years hiding their weaknesses, this level of openness can feel overwhelming. A person may hide their feelings because they fear rejection. They may wonder, what if I reveal everything and they do not feel the same way? They may hide because they fear disappointment, abandonment, or the possibility of being hurt again. In these moments, silence can feel safer than honesty, and distance can feel easier than emotional exposure. Sometimes the person is not hiding love itself, but hiding the complexity surrounding that love. They may be dealing with personal struggles, unresolved emotions, or doubts about whether they are ready for a deeper connection. Their heart may recognize the importance of the relationship, while their mind creates reasons to hold back. This creates a fascinating part of human psychology. People often protect themselves from the very thing they desire. They may want closeness, but fear intimacy. They may want to be understood, but fear being fully seen. The walls they create are not always built because they do not care. Sometimes those walls exist because they care more than they know how to handle. Understanding emotional concealment requires looking beyond surface behavior. The quiet moments, hesitation, and mixed signals may reveal an inner conflict rather than a simple lack of interest. Behind every hidden emotion, there is often a story of fear, protection, and the desire to feel safe enough to finally be real. Every person carries hidden parts of themselves that they rarely show to the world. These hidden aspects include fears, insecurities, painful memories, desires, and emotions that they may have learned to suppress over time. When love enters someone's life, these hidden parts often begin to emerge because genuine connection creates a space where the person can no longer completely avoid themselves. Love has a powerful way of revealing what exists beneath the surface. A person may appear confident, calm, and emotionally strong, but deep inside, they may carry doubts about whether they are truly worthy of being loved. They may have learned to hide their struggles because they believe showing vulnerability will make them appear weak or expose them to rejection. When someone develops strong feelings for another person, the relationship becomes more than just an emotional experience. It becomes a mirror that reflects their inner world. The affection they feel may bring happiness, but it can also awaken fears they thought they had overcome. Old wounds, past disappointments, and unresolved emotions can suddenly become impossible to ignore. This is why some people behave in ways that seem contradictory when they fall in love. They may seek closeness, but then create distance. They may express care, but struggle to communicate their deepest thoughts. A part of them desires connection, while another part fears the vulnerability that comes with being truly known. The hidden side of love is not always about secrets between two people. Sometimes it is about the secrets a person keeps from themselves. They may not fully understand why they hesitate, why they become afraid, or why they struggle to accept something meaningful. The journey of love often requires confronting these hidden parts. A person must recognize the fears that control them and understand the emotional patterns that influence their choices. Only by becoming aware of these hidden aspects can they move toward a more authentic connection. The deepest relationships are not created by pretending to be perfect. They are created when two people have the courage to face their own shadows and still choose honesty, understanding, and emotional growth. Love does not remove the hidden parts of a person, it reveals them so they can finally be understood and transformed. When someone deeply cares about you but struggles to express it, their emotions often appear through subtle actions rather than direct words. Human beings communicate much more through behavior, choices, and patterns than through simple statements. A person may not openly say what they feel, but the way they treat you can reveal the emotional connection they are experiencing internally. One of the strongest signs that someone cares is the attention they give to small details. When a person remembers things you mentioned casually, notices changes in your mood, or becomes aware of what matters to you, it shows that your presence has created an emotional impact on them. People naturally invest their attention in what holds meaning for them, and genuine care often appears through these quiet observations. Another sign can be the way they protect and support you. A person who values you may want to make your life easier, offer help when you need it, or stand beside you during difficult moments. Their actions may communicate a level of concern that they struggle to put into words. However, deep feelings can sometimes exist alongside emotional hesitation. This is where confusion begins. A person may show warmth and affection one day, then become distant the next. They may want to move closer, but suddenly retreat when emotions become too intense. This behavior can happen when someone is fighting an internal battle between their desire for connection and their fear of vulnerability. Their silence may not always mean indifference. Sometimes silence is a reflection of uncertainty, fear, or the difficulty of expressing emotions they have not fully understood themselves. A person may be trying to control feelings that feel too powerful or unfamiliar. The key is to look at patterns rather than isolated moments. One action alone does not reveal someone's entire emotional world, but consistent behavior over time can provide deeper insight. Genuine care is usually reflected through respect, effort, and a willingness to be present. Understanding someone's hidden emotions requires patience and awareness. Instead of focusing only on what they say, observe how they show up, how they treat you, and whether their actions create a sense of trust and emotional safety. True feelings often speak through the things a person does when they believe no one is watching. The fear of vulnerability is one of the deepest struggles a person can experience when they begin to develop strong feelings for someone. To truly love another person means allowing yourself to be seen, not only your strengths, confidence, and achievements, but also your fears, insecurities, and imperfections. For someone who has spent years protecting their emotions, this level of openness can feel frightening. Many people build emotional walls because at some point in their lives they learned that being vulnerable could lead to pain. Perhaps they experienced rejection, betrayal, disappointment, or moments when their emotions were ignored. These experiences can create a belief that it is safer to hide than to reveal the truth of what they feel. When a person starts falling deeply in love, those protective walls can begin to weaken. The connection they feel may awaken a desire for closeness, but it may also activate the fear of losing control. They may begin asking themselves difficult questions. What if I am not enough? What if I get hurt? What if this person leaves after knowing the real me? This internal conflict can create confusing behavior. Someone may want to express their feelings but hold back. They may want to spend more time with you but create distance when the relationship becomes emotionally intense. It is not always because they do not care. Sometimes it is because caring has made them feel exposed. Vulnerability requires courage because it involves accepting uncertainty. No person can guarantee that they will never experience pain in love. But avoiding emotional risk also prevents someone from experiencing the depth and connection they truly desire. A person who hides their feelings may not be hiding because they lack emotion. They may be hiding because their emotions feel powerful enough to challenge the identity they have created for themselves. The confident exterior may be protecting a much more sensitive inner world. True emotional growth begins when someone realizes that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the doorway to genuine connection. The ability to say, "This matters to me and I care about you," requires strength because it means accepting the possibility of being seen completely. And only when a person allows themselves to be truly seen can love move beyond fear and become something real. Understanding someone's hidden emotions does not mean chasing them, trying to decode every action, or sacrificing your own peace while waiting for answers. One of the deepest lessons in emotional maturity is recognizing that love cannot be forced. A person must willingly confront their own feelings, fears, and inner struggles. No one can complete that journey for them. When someone is hiding something complicated, the natural reaction is often to search for explanations. You may analyze every message, every pause, every change in behavior, hoping to discover what is happening inside their mind. But constantly trying to uncover someone's hidden emotions can create emotional exhaustion because you begin focusing more on their inner world than your own. A healthy connection requires understanding, but it also requires boundaries. Compassion allows you to recognize that another person may have fears or wounds influencing their behavior. However, self-respect reminds you that you also deserve honesty, consistency, and emotional security. Love should not require you to lose yourself while waiting for someone else to become ready. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is create space. When you stop chasing answers and allow a person the freedom to reveal themselves naturally, you gain clarity. Genuine feelings do not need endless pressure to exist. If someone truly values the connection, their actions will eventually align with their emotions. The desire to understand someone is natural, especially when the bond feels meaningful. But there is a difference between understanding and carrying the emotional responsibility of another person. You can support someone, but you cannot heal wounds they refuse to face. You can offer patience, but you cannot make someone choose vulnerability. True love is not built on one person constantly proving their worth while the other remains hidden. It is created when both people take responsibility for their own emotional growth and meet each other with honesty. The deepest form of connection comes when two individuals choose each other freely, not because one person chased, convinced, or waited endlessly, but because both are willing to show up with awareness, respect, and emotional courage. Sometimes giving someone space is not an act of giving up. It is an act of trusting that what is real will reveal itself without force. A powerful connection between two people is not only about attraction, emotions, or shared experiences. It often becomes a mirror that reveals the hidden parts of both individuals. When someone enters your life in a meaningful way, they do not simply show you who they are. They also reveal aspects of yourself that may have remained unnoticed. Relationships have a way of bringing your deepest fears, desires, expectations, and emotional patterns to the surface. When you feel strongly connected to someone, you may begin to notice emotions within yourself that you did not expect. You may discover fears of abandonment, insecurities about being valued, or old beliefs about love that were formed long before this person appeared in your life. The connection becomes a reflection, showing you not only what you want from another person, but also what you need to understand within yourself. This is why some relationships feel incredibly intense. The person may awaken emotions that seem larger than the situation itself. Their presence can bring excitement and comfort, but it can also create discomfort because they touch parts of your inner world that require attention. They may remind you of old experiences, unfinished emotional lessons, or parts of yourself that you have ignored. The same process can happen for the person who is hiding their feelings. Their connection with you may force them to confront aspects of themselves they have avoided. They may begin questioning their fears, their beliefs about intimacy, and the emotional barriers they have created. The relationship becomes an opportunity for self-discovery. A meaningful bond is not only about finding someone who makes you feel loved, it is also about becoming more aware of who you are when you are with that person. Love has the ability to reveal both the light and the hidden shadows within us. The healthiest relationships are not built on two people completing each other because they feel incomplete. They are built when two individuals become more conscious through the connection. They use the relationship as a place for growth, understanding, and transformation. A person who enters your life with deep emotional significance may not only be there to give you love, they may also be there to awaken parts of yourself that were waiting to be recognized, and through that awareness, both people have the opportunity to grow into more authentic versions of themselves. True emotional transformation begins when a person becomes aware of the hidden patterns that control their thoughts, actions, and relationships. Love can create a powerful opportunity for growth because it challenges people to move beyond fear, protection, and old emotional habits. A meaningful connection is not only about finding someone who understands you, it is also about learning to understand yourself. When someone hides their feelings because of fear, insecurity, or past experiences, they may believe they are protecting themselves. But over time, those same defenses can prevent them from experiencing the closeness they truly desire. Awareness is the first step toward change because a person cannot transform something they refuse to acknowledge. A person who begins to recognize their emotional patterns may start asking deeper questions. Why do I pull away when someone gets close? Why do I fear expressing what I feel? Why do I believe I must hide my true emotions? These questions create an opportunity to break free from automatic reactions and choose a more conscious way of relating. Growth in love does not mean becoming a completely different person. It means becoming more honest with yourself and others. It means understanding that vulnerability is not a weakness and emotional openness is not a loss of power. A person becomes stronger when they no longer need to hide behind fear. For a relationship to truly grow, both people must be willing to face their own inner struggles. One person cannot carry the entire emotional weight of a connection. Love becomes healthier when both individuals take responsibility for their healing, their communication, and their choices. The deepest connections are not created by perfect people. They are created by people who are willing to become more aware. When two individuals stop allowing fear to control their actions, they create space for trust, honesty, and emotional freedom. Sometimes the complicated thing a person is hiding is not a lack of love, but the unfinished journey within themselves. They may be learning how to accept love, how to trust, and how to let someone see them completely. Real love begins when the masks fall away. It is found when two people have the courage to be seen as they truly are and still choose understanding, growth, and connection. The greatest transformation happens when love becomes not a place to hide from yourself, but a place where you finally discover who you are. The truth about love is that what someone hides is not always a sign that they do not care. Sometimes the hidden parts are connected to the deepest struggles within themselves, the fears they have carried, the wounds they have never healed, and the emotions they have never learned how to express. A person can feel a powerful connection with someone and still struggle to fully open their heart because love requires something that many people fear most: being completely seen. When someone is deeply in love but hiding something complicated, the answer is not always found in searching for every hidden detail. Sometimes the greater understanding comes from recognizing the human experience behind their actions. Every person carries a story, and every heart has protective walls built from past experiences. But love must always exist alongside awareness. Compassion does not mean accepting confusion forever. Understanding someone's struggles does not mean abandoning your own emotional needs. A healthy connection requires honesty, respect, and effort from both sides. Love cannot grow where only one person is trying to understand, heal, or hold everything together. The most meaningful relationships happen when two people have the courage to face themselves, when they stop hiding behind fear, stop allowing old wounds to control their choices, and begin showing up with honesty. Something powerful happens. They no longer love from a place of insecurity. They love from a place of awareness. Perhaps the most important question is not only, what is this person hiding from me, but also, what is this connection revealing about both of us? Because every deep relationship has the ability to awaken something within us. Sometimes the person who seems difficult to understand is simply someone fighting a private battle between their desire to love and their fear of being hurt. And when that battle is finally faced, love no longer has to hide behind silence, distance, or uncertainty. The deepest love is not created when two perfect people find each other. It is created when two imperfect people choose honesty, growth, and the courage to be fully seen. Because only when the heart no longer hides can it truly experience the freedom of genuine connection.